Hello Scrappers, this is Megan and I am back today with another Get It Scrapped layout. So for this layout, my assignment was to create tension using type. And I'm actually going to use two of the different ways that they suggested we could use tension. And the first way is going to be color, and the second way is going to be capitalization. So you can see I already have two photos picked out here, and I also have an alpha that I've picked out, and it is in all caps, and then also a kind of light bluish color. This is actually going to change from what is going to end up being the real alpha that I'm going to use. So I have these two photos of my son. This is my oldest son, Jonas. And he is playing a video game, which is his favorite pastime. I don't know how many of you have boys or girls that just absolutely are obsessed with video games, but that is my Jonas. He loves video games. It is pretty much his whole life. So this is where I decide I don't like the color of that blue against that mint green color that I used to back the photos. So I really wanted to stick with mint green and not like a light blue or a teal or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these alphas instead. And these are, let's see, this is a thicker collection called Fitzgerald, which I believe Fitzgerald is the type that they use for Chamel's collections. And I think I have every single color you can get this alpha in. So I'm going to decide to use this gold one, and I really like how that looks. And then I'm going to pull out a couple different kinds of tile letters, because that's another way that I am creating tension is I have part of my title in one alpha and then the other part in a different letter and then also capitalized. So here I'm just spelling out my name is, and then of course you already know that his name is Jonas. So this I am going to end up just putting right on the photo, and I just really like how that looks. It just draws your eye right to the photo, and you don't kind of have to look all around the layout. So you can also see that I have those 3 strips of paper up at the top. I am actually going to totally change up how I have it set up right now. I really wanted to do some sewing on my layout. So my first idea was to kind of have them all jumbled together, all those 3 strips jumbled together. But then I'm not really sure what I'm doing right now, so I apologize about that. But I am going to sew on them. So here I'm going to cut this one up a little bit. It just wasn't perfect enough for me, apparently. I cut off the teeniest, tiniest little strip. But I am going to end up turning the layout to the right. And here I'm cutting them just a little bit. I wanted them to kind of be off center and just not perfectly straight on the layout. So now here I'm just going to glue a little bit of each of these strips because I did want to sew around the outside of them. So I didn't want my machine to get all gunked up. So I'm trying to not put too much glue on the sides, which is where I'm going to do the sewing. And then you can see here I use some water and a spray from Shimmers. You can find my supply list over on the Get It Scrapped blog. Make sure you head on over there to see the other ladies and design team members that participated in this challenge. So now here is where I am going to pull out my sewing machine. I will cut most of this out because I don't have a view for you to be able to see the actual machine, like how I'm sewing it. So I'll cut most of this out. Okay, so now here you can see that I have sewn on my papers, and now I am just kind of ruffling them up and making them not look quite so perfect. So I'm going to do that to all 3 of the pattern papers, and I really, really love how this turned out. Then I'm also going to spend some time pulling the thread that's in the front. I'm going to pull it to the back, so then I can just tape down the ends so that they don't come out. And that takes a little bit of time, so I won't make you watch through all of that, but I did want you to see the finished product and how I was ruffling up the paper. So now I'm just pulling out my little, I can't even think about what that's called right now, but I'm pulling out that little thing that I got with my sewing machine and just pulling it through. Okay, now I'm all done doing that. And then I'm going to continue on with my layout. So this is where I decided to turn it to this side, and I really like that a whole lot better. Here I am going to try to use this cute vellum piece of paper, but it's not going to work out. I don't really like it on the layout. I don't know why. But I did want to pop that left side of that photo mat up because of the dimension that those papers being sewn down and then ruffled up was giving the other side. So I put a piece of ugly orange foam behind that photo. So that's what that was. And then here I'm pulling out this adorable collection. This is a Project Life little, I don't even know what you call these, if it's a mini kit or if it's like a special kit, because these are not like the normal Project Life mini kits. This one comes with embellishments that you can see that I'm going through right there, then also 3x4 cards and then 4x6 cards, and they're a lot more embellished than just the regular Project Life mini kits. So here I have pulled out a piece from my stash that has scallops on it, and then I'm also going to decide to use that little wonderful embellishment from the Project Life kit. Here I'm gluing down the photo, and I decide that I want to put this piece down right above the photos. It's a heart with a little tag on it. And here I am going to pull out a craft doily, and so I'm going to glue those 2 pieces down, and then I'm going to glue the photos down. And here I'm just trying to get them in the perfect set up, right? I don't know. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. So I try out the white doily. I don't really like it, so I am going to end up using the craft doily, but I have to get everything set perfect. And then I'll glue down the photos. Also, I was thinking I wanted to do some journaling, but I don't want it to mess up with the design. And I knew that I wanted my son Jonas to do the journaling in his handwriting, and I didn't want to take away from my pretty page. I don't know if that sounds really mean, but you know, kids don't have the best handwriting. And so here I decided to pull out a tag from my stash, or not a tag, a little glassine bag. And so I'm going to glue that down behind the doily, and then I'm going to glue the doily down and then that heart, and then I will glue the photo down finally. So here I'm just doing that, and I really, really love how this layout turns out. I was thinking I was going to kind of make it more boyish, but then I started and it just kind of turned out the way, like, I mean, it's got boy colors on it. It just feels kind of girly to me. I don't know. Does it feel girly to you, or does it feel boyish? Because I feel kind of bad. Like, he's been asking me to do a layout for him for a long time. Probably since, because I did a layout for Get It Scrapped for Brennan, and that was probably back in January or February. I can't even remember when that was. But Jonas has been asking me to do a layout of him and his favorite video games and stuff, and I didn't make it very masculine. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. And my kids are the kind of kids that like to just please me, and so I say, hey, do you like it? And they'll be like, yeah, we love it, you know, like they're not going to be honest because they love me and they don't want to hurt my feelings. So I'm kind of afraid that he likes it, but he doesn't like it as a video game layout. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should redo another video game layout for him. But this layout was a lot of fun. I had so much fun creating this one, and I hope that you will come on over to the blog to see how the other ladies worked with this challenge and made it their own. Okay, so now you can see I am making a little card for Jonas to do his journaling on, and I think I'm going to have photos. I did take photos of the journaling card, so I will have a photo to show you what he ended up writing on his little journaling cards. Now I'm going to pull out a little tag that I am going to make into the little pull part so that you know that you can pull it out. So I'm just rounding those corners, and then here I'm going through an old Click Kits kit that had a bunch of tabs and things. So now I'm just gluing that on there, and then I am going to be done with this layout. Oh, no, you know what? I think I add some sequins. Yeah, I add some sequins, and the sequins that I use are from 2 different kits, or 2 different mixes from the Spiegel Mom Scraps store. I absolutely love her store. If you haven't ever bought any sequins from her, you need to. So I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.